Hello people, how are we all today? I hope you're well. Hope you're all taking care of yourselves in the midst of vast change in the world. And today I just want to talk about something really important to know, and not many people I know or have come across really understand this concept. But it's not even a concept really, it's just a split between your external wealth, which is your finances, your money, your expenses, how much you earn, how much you pay out in any sort of way, physically. And this is kind of the way in which I used to view life quite a lot, in a way that everything meant externalization. As long as my external environment was good, as long as my finances were good, as long as I was earning a lot of money, then I'd be alright, you know? I'd be able to access everything in life. And in a way, it gives you a good foundation, making sure that you are educated on your finances, you know, you're in control of what you spend. That's really important. And there's another type of wealth, which is spiritual wealth. Now, spiritual wealth is a form of internal energy, internal discipline, that by any means, I could list off about 5 things right now, but I'll get into that. But by any means, anything that you do on a daily basis that is either for your own personal pleasure instantly, or it's for more of a long-term development. So this could be 1, eating plant-based foods or eating good food. I'm not saying all animal products are bad, but most meat that we buy at supermarkets it's not great, to be honest. I mean, if you think about it, really, without capturing your own animal and killing it immediately, it's stayed in the wild. It knows it's gonna become a captive and food for another animal at some point in its life. And there's a big difference between that and eating and consuming the vibration of pure suffering that an animal has gone through its entire life. So that's something that 95% of meat is, really, because you're still consuming the frequency of what that animal was feeling, because each feeling is a different level of frequency. And if that feeling is in fear, then that's going to stay in the meat itself, and you're consuming that fear. So if you ever wonder why you feel so lethargic and unmotivated or tired or depressed after you eat a big fat burger, it's probably why. And so plant-based foods, personally, depending on what you're eating, if it's relatively alkaline, then that's good. But alkaline means it's only one side of the spectrum, which I personally believe that you need to consume. And obviously our bodies need some form of acidic substance, especially depending on your genetic makeup. If you're Caucasian, then you'd need more acidic foods to maintain optimum health. However, if you're any other ethnicity, you'd have to do your own research on that. But all in all, that is number one. How to reach a high level of spiritual wealth, which means high level of vibration, appreciation of life, happiness, true happiness, strength, power, creativity, and plant-based, alkaline, healthy foods is definitely something that plays a big role in it, for sure. But it takes time. And number 2 is what I call it semen retention, or you could call it NoFap, but there are 2 different ways of doing it, really. One is to make sure you're not just retaining your sexual energy, trying to avoid women, and just simply avoiding sexual activity, because that is quite an unhealthy thing to do, unless some people really do become pure celibate, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if your heart desires for love, then you can't just use NoFap as an excuse to not go for that. So you have semen retention, and obviously there are many ways in which you can cultivate this energy instead of having it leaving there stagnant, stuck. You could practice Qigong, Tai Chi, any sort of meditative practice focusing on the pelvic area, opening up the channels so you don't just have blue balls all the time. You can actually feel a significant change between doing these practices, which is what it's used for, and just going on NoFap. So that is definitely, for a man, I'd say about 60% of your overall energy comes from your sexual energy. Well, that has for me, I'd say. And then number 3 is words. So whatever you speak into this reality, it does manifest into physical, psychological experience. So say, for example, if you're gossiping about someone, if you're swearing, or if you're talking down on them as if they're, just in an egotistical way, kind of overstanding them, then without you even realizing why, the rule of the pendulum swing will just swing your feeling of pride back to feeling of anxiety. Whether you like it or not, it will happen, because your words will seek something. Your words always seek something. It always attracts something. So if it's a negative word you're saying, especially about someone and about yourself, then it will kind of boomerang back at you in a different form. And a lot of negative stuff will just come into play in your life, and then you'll react to it in a negative way. So words are very important to focus on, not confusing yourself with importance or not, because it is very important to speak your heart and not just tell any white lies that many people do. I used to do this. I kind of still do sometimes, and I realize I shouldn't have said that. Really shouldn't have said that. Because when you work on these first 2 points, you realize that words mean more and more, and they become more and more powerful. This is how you actually get through coming out of psychological and spiritual poverty, with these first 2 things. So number 4 is getting out of nature. It's very, very simple, and even if it's just a plant in your room, or you're in a field, or you just gotta connect and take time to just look at something natural and just imagine yourself as that thing, like a tree or a plant. And then you can create almost like a protective grid for yourself. Because with these other 3 practices, if you do these things, then your consciousness becomes a lot more open to merging itself with other forms of physical beings. Even if it's a person, an animal, the sun, anything. So, number 5 is your thoughts. And you definitely need to remember that your thoughts is just the first density up from your physical body. But your soul is so much more powerful than this, because your awareness can look through anything. Your awareness can overpower anything, because it has no finite existence. It's just awareness. It's just energy, your pure form of you. And whenever these 4 things that I've mentioned before become out of balance, it's usually because of your thoughts. It's because you start thinking, and then you think, then you react to these thoughts that you had before about these bad habits, and you're like, oh, I keep thinking about it, I need to do it then. Well, no. There's more so your lower form of you is just trying to tempt you. That's all it is. It's like anything in this world that has been bad for us, we have not ever been forced into it. It's always just been a temptation, such as pornography, McDonald's, alcohol, drugs. None of this shit, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. None of this stuff, none of these things were forced upon us. They were just temptations. It's just like your thoughts. So don't attach to your thoughts. So yeah, these are my 5 ways in which you can... Lovely horse over there. Can you see it? Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I hope you take care, guys, and I hope this message goes out to someone in the world who can take this for account and value their life with, because these have definitely begun to transform my life over the past 4 months, and it's a beautiful thing. So take care, guys. I love you all. Peace.